Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Matt, and I'm an American who's been living in Okinawa, Japan now for the last 3 years. And in this video, I wanted to talk about how I think it's changed me. Now, I know 3 years is a long time to just change in general. Everyone grows, especially 3 years. It's kind of a decent amount of time. But in this video, I think I wanted to talk about the things that I think changed me that are specifically because I live in Okinawa. Now, some of these things are good, some of them are bad, some of them are just neutral. I don't really know how to feel about them, but these are 5 ways that I think I've changed in the last 3 years from living in Okinawa. So I'm gonna start off with a simple one here. This is one that you maybe could have guessed. It's that I'm so used to the safety now here that I've forgotten how to live in danger. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, the way I see it, you shouldn't have to worry about where you live and what you do. And you shouldn't really have to think about things like safety and theft. The problem with it, I think, is that when I go and travel to other countries that maybe are not as safe as Japan, I've kind of forgotten my habits to keep things safe. Holy crap. This is a hill. But one example I could give you is I was talking to my friend in California, and we were talking about how he gets up really early because he likes to go out, and it's cool because he has the morning to himself, and he goes out and bike rides and does all this stuff. And me and Kit, my wife, kind of sleep in, and we don't get up till 10, 11, and we don't go to bed until 2 or 3 a.m. Saying that, yeah, well, he gets up in the morning because that way he can go out and no one else is around, and he just, spends his time doing whatever he wants outside. I mean, we do the same thing just at night, after 11, 12, midnight, right? No one's around. So we'll go on walks and stuff like that, and it's really nice. What he said was, yeah, but it's safe where you're at. And I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember why I didn't go out after midnight in California. So it's forgotten things. And then on top of that, other things I do now is I'm not so worried about locking my car or locking my house. Oftentimes we'll park somewhere, especially at convenience stores, and you'll see we won't lock our car, but not only won't we lock our car, but other people run in and they have their car in the parking lot on and running, with the keys in it. You never do that in California. And then people ride their bikes and they just put their bike somewhere. They don't really lock it up. I mean, unless it's long term. A lot of people, I think they do lock their houses, but not as necessary if you're only going out for a second or something, But this stuff I would never do if I was living in California still. I'm just so used to it being so safe and so used to it, nothing happening. I'm not worried about sketchy people in an alleyway after midnight, or I'm not worried about things getting stolen. Another good example of this is my wife actually left her phone in a restaurant. The first thought in my mind, of course, coming from California, is somebody probably, jacked it, right? She's like, no, I'll just call the restaurant. I'm sure they have it. I'll get it tomorrow or something. I'm like, what are you talking about? We got to go now. We were really far away. And she's like, no, it's fine. I'm sure they have it. And so she called, I don't know, the next day or something. And she's like, hey, I left my phone there yesterday. You guys have it. Can I come get it? And they're like, oh yeah, we have it. Come on in anytime. It wasn't even a thought in her mind that it got stolen, But for me, of course, it's stolen. Now, the safety thing is probably more of just an all-around Japan as a country thing. But the second way that I've changed, I think, is more specific to living in Okinawa, Japan. And that's, I'm much more relaxed. And I think you may be saying oh, that's a good thing. And I agree. There's a lot of good aspects to being more relaxed. But also that hustle mentality that a lot of people have in California, I don't miss it, but I'm also noticing that because no one really has that hustle mentality here in Okinawa, maybe in Tokyo or something, right? But here, no one's really aspiring to get better or to do something more or build something bigger. No one really cares. They're just happy and relaxed. Depending on how you look at it, that may be a good thing. See, the downside I see with this is, I have a lot of big goals and aspirations, right? And I want to build something big, something that can give me the lifestyle that I want, but also something that can help the people that I want to help. I want to be able to have the means to help my friends or my family when they need it, or even when they don't need it, and I just want them to, like, one of the big motivations I have is, like, I want my friends and family, or people online even that become my friends, I want them to be able to have the opportunity to travel. Some of them I'd really love to travel with, but a lot of them, you know, they work a lot or they don't have the money. I want to be able to build something that allows me to have the means to be like, don't worry about it, you know, take the time off from work, I'll pay you for that, I'll pay for your travel expenses, like, just come hang out with me, you know? I think that hustle mentality is sort of lacking here, and I think there are good aspects to it, although I do like feeling relaxed too. I mean, it's nice. So before we get to number 3 here too, I wanted to mention to you guys that if you are coming to Okinawa to visit or to live here or anything and you want someone to show you around, my wife and I and maybe some of our friends are starting up a tour company because we've seen everything in this island that this island has to offer, I think. So we want to show you guys around. So there's a link in the description to our tour company, but you know, we'll just get together, hang out, we'll drive you around the island, show you all the noteworthy places, or just show you places that you want to go. We'll just drive around, hang out. So check that out in the description. Okay, the third thing is I feel much less independent here. That is partly, mostly, almost all my fault for not learning the language faster, Japanese, right? And lately I've been studying a lot, so it's good. But when it comes to official documentation, like, you know, government documents, like, you know, I need to do things for my visa or for my insurance or for like the car or something, like official things, it's very advanced Japanese, right? So even studying it now, like even if I go hardcore, I feel like that those sort of things, maybe I could muddle through them. I'm very dependent on my wife to speak the language for me. Yeah, I just feel less independent, and like, especially when I first got here, we didn't have a car or a place of our own or anything. So a lot of what we were doing was very dependent. And for me, that's just, sorry, the mic, that's just not something that I'm used to. I'm typically a very independent person. I do everything myself. So there's goods and bads to it, but I just wanted to mention that. So the fourth thing is I feel like I'm spoiled now by the convenience of everything. See, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in America, there's these things called zoning laws, which means there's specific locations that are designated that they can only be residential areas, like houses and stuff. And then there's other areas that can only be businesses and commercial use, right? Here, there's none of that. So there's businesses all scattered throughout everywhere. People open up businesses in their homes. There's, you know, things are all over the place, right? And then on top of that, just the Japanese mentality, I think it's originally because they had less space, they build things very close together. Everything's really convenient. I'll give you an example. I always loved walking around, riding bikes and stuff. I'm walking right now. In California, when I wanted to walk to the store, let's say, if you live in a regular commercial or residential area, I feel like, you know, it's probably a 20-minute to an hour-long walk, right? To get to just the nearest shopping center area. And here, if I walk for 20 minutes to an hour, I've probably already passed, you know, 50, 60 restaurants, tons of different shopping centers, you know, convenience stores, gas stations, everything's so close. I could walk to anywhere. If I'm thirsty or something, there's vending machines everywhere, so that's really convenient. So I remember when I visited California back in January of last year to see my family, one thing I was really missing was the vending machines and just convenience stores. And I remember, because I was visiting, I was borrowing cars and stuff, right? But when I didn't have cars, I couldn't just walk to a place to get a drink or something, right? It was like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, you know? So, but here it's like there's a vending machine right in front of our apartment complex. There's actually two, like literally right below it. And that's not uncommon. There's a convenience store like right across the street. So yeah, I think I'm spoiled by the convenience now. I don't know, it'd be hard to give this up, I think. So number 5, this is the last thing I thought of, but it might be the most important depending on how you look at this list, but it's that. And also really quick, if you like my Okinawa hat or you like my Ryukyu shirt, Ryukyu Style is our brand, ryukyustyle.com. The link is in the description. Pick one up yourself. We also have some other stuff there. Thank you. Let's get back to it. I feel good more often. It's different from the second thing I said, feeling, more relaxed. I think feeling good, I thought this would go away by now, but I still find myself walking down these streets and sometimes I just look around and I'm like, this is cool, This is cool. I like living here. This makes me feel good. I don't know, it's just a vibe. I don't know if it's like a thing I contribute to maybe, growing up my childhood of like anime, like the anime I watched in high school, and like everything now looks like those anime. So it's just sort of a relaxing, nostalgic feeling because watching anime was very relaxing. The other thing that I think it could be too, aside from the relaxed vibe maybe attributing to it, is Okinawa specifically, and actually most of Japan is gorgeous, but Okinawa specifically is very green and tropical. I think there's a lot to be said about how nature makes you feel. That's why a lot of experts tell you to go out into nature to make yourself feel better. Go on hikes more, spend more time outside. It's so humid here that this is just the side of the road. There's just plants growing. Not that this is a good view, but I'm just saying, you're surrounded by nature. So I think maybe that, and of course it's an island, so, I see the ocean a lot, right? Go to the ocean a lot, spend time on the beaches. There's a lot of forested hikes and stuff here, so those are the 5 ways that I thought of that I think Okinawa has changed me over the last 3 years. Go ahead and leave a comment if you have anything else that you think I missed, or if you have any questions about Okinawa or living in Okinawa, go ahead and leave a comment, and go ahead and like this video if it helped you out. And thanks so much, guys. See you in the next video.